it's just not, timing's not right.
A minute, now it says we're live.
Okay, cool.
Can you see it?
Maybe it just took a few minutes. No sound or visuals. It says we are waiting for you on our screen.
Says we're live now.
There we are. Yay. Oh, is that with a really delayed broadcast?
Let's just see.
There you are. There we go. Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Great.
You can hear us.
Thanks everyone for joining us live. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Marcella. Hi, Heather. Hi, Jason. We've got a few guests.
Cool. You can hear us okay? Just comment there. I keep expecting to hear people. I'm so used to doing Zoom calls or Skypes where people talk back to me and they're not talking today.
It's kind of weird just to have ourselves talking to the camera. I'm not used to this at all.
No, it's kind of weird. Very weird, but it's all good.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us. We're a bit excited about today. Just to, touch base. It's been a while since we've done a Dotty Media webinar.
Been ages.
I don't think I've even done one. I think the last time I did one, I was breastfeeding. So.
Probably. Yeah, I think that's true.
So it's a really long time ago. Cool. So for that, we've got a lot of friendly faces on here, so it's lovely to see you guys back again. But we just wanted to touch base, and let you know what we've been up to here at Dotty, because we've a lot of you have been following us for a while. Dotty Media has been around for 4 years now, which is a bit exciting. And we've really moved from general social media strategy to now working in Facebook ads management.
Yeah, that's really all we do these days. So Facebook ads management, Facebook ads coaching as well. Miranda's been doing quite a bit of coaching, one-on-one sessions with people, helping them with their Facebook ads. And today we're going to tell you about a relatively new service that we've been offering as well. Along with our US e-com expert partner, Jason, who I know is on the call. So hi, Jason. So we're excited to kind of tell you about that. So I guess just for me, I just want to tell you a little bit about what I've been up to, if you don't know. So obviously, for those of you that have never been on a webinar with us before, we have been, been in business for over 4 years. We started out as a social media strategy, general social media management company. Really in the past year, in fact, probably 2 years, we've really been just knuckling down on Facebook ads, and exclusively for the past year, just Facebook ads is what we do. So obviously I'm co-owner of Dotty with Miranda. I'm also an account manager for Dominate Web Media. So that's Keith Krantz and Ralph Burns. You possibly may have heard them on the Perpetual Traffic podcast. So I'm an account manager for them. So, with them, I'm managing, over $10,000 a day in ad spend across various clients. So have a fair bit of experience in running Facebook ads for clients. And we just wanted to share some of that knowledge today. And
particularly, and I'm still working with a lot of Australian business owners about, to get their products out there. Online courses and selling consultations, and a really quite a wide variety. But something that we wanted to share with you today is some of these strategies for our e-commerce people who are running like online stores with Shopify and WooCommerce, just because in both of our experience, we're just seeing that there's a lot of money being left on the table, and the strategies, just so you know, these strategies will work for other types of businesses as well, but there will be a particular e-commerce focus to this webinar.
Yeah, cool. So I guess just even if you could put in the comments if you a yes or no, yes, you're an e-commerce business, or no, you have some other type of business on. So that would just be cool, just to get a general view of who's doing what. We've also got Venus, haven't mentioned Venus on board as monitoring the questions. If you have any questions during whatever we're talking about, we'll do a big Q&A session at the end. That's always my favorite part, is just answering your questions live. So really any questions you've got about Facebook ads in general, really, obviously any related to retargeting, e-commerce, just stick them in that chat box, and Venus is going to collate them all for us, and we will answer them at the end. If it makes sense to answer them in the middle, then we'll do that too.
I'm just putting the link in our Dotty Media Facebook Ads Masterclass group as well. We wanted to go do like a double screen thing today, where we had like another one going live into the group, but it wasn't even technology that failed us. It was actually just a product that failed us.
You can't figure out how to open the damn thing. So anyway, it's all good in the hood.
So it won't be a moment.
Cool.
Do you want to start on what retargeting is? Because everyone wants to know.
Okay, sweet. So retargeting on Facebook is basically when you are showing an ad to somebody that's already usually either been to your website. So you've probably seen them yourself when you've been scrolling through Facebook. So quite often, you know, for me, it happens, I'll go to a website and I'm looking at clothes to buy or shoes, and then I come back to Facebook and then I see an ad with the exact product that I've been looking at. And, you know, sometimes the ad will be calling me out saying, you know, come back and shop today, you know, complete your order, that kind of thing. So that's retargeting from an e-commerce store. There's also just kind of general retargeting where it's maybe not so obvious that you've been on a website. So again, you might have visited a website and then you just see an ad for that person in your newsfeed, maybe that same day or the next day. And it might just seem like it's a coincidence, and sometimes it might be, but a lot of the time it's because that business or that person is deliberately has an ad set up to specifically show you something, because they know that if you've been at their website, you already will know who they are, and there's a much higher chance of you taking action on their ad than if you had never ever seen that brand or that person before. So that's what retargeting is when you run it on Facebook. So how does it work? So you may or may not have heard of the Facebook pixel. So the Facebook pixel is a piece of code that you put on your website. It goes between the head tags. If that sounds like gobbledygook to you, if you have a website and you have a web developer, they can easily add it for you. We have a blog post that we wrote a while ago that tells you how you can do it. There's some pretty simple ways for you to do that. So you put this pixel code on your website, and then what that does is it then allows you to track your visitors. It sends information back to Facebook, and if Facebook can match the data that's coming in from the pixel with its users, and you know, remember that most people are on Facebook and Facebook's really good at this kind of stuff, then it then allows you to set up an ad to show whatever you want to people that have been to your website. So you can see how that's, you know, particularly useful for e-commerce businesses where you want to specifically show people the exact thing. You can get so granular with retargeting these days with websites, you know, Shopify websites, WooCommerce websites, other e-commerce stores. So that's how you actually do it.
Yeah, and I guess something that we, you know, want with anyone's website is the fact that not everyone's going to buy the first time they visit your website. Like very few people will go to your website and go, hey, I really need that $50 product, $100 product, $1,000 product. So what are you going to do? You've got the people on your website, which is half the problem, you know, first getting the traffic. So retargeting allows you to continue that conversation, to, you know, take that next step with you, whether it's signing up for a lead magnet, that's another use of retargeting, or, you know, taking the next step, signing up for a workshop, or purchasing. So there's so many different ways that you can use retargeting, and, you know, basically every business, if you've got a website, probably should be thinking about this as part of your strategy.
Totally. It's where we see, you know, with a lot of the clients that, in fact, well, most of the clients, and I'll show you an example of one of our clients, and the difference setting this up has made to them in terms of their actual revenue. But it's one of the key areas where business owners, particularly small business owners, are leaving money on the table. This can be like, or it is the easiest way for you to scoop up those people that are sitting on the fence, or got distracted because their phone went when they were in the middle of doing, you know, filling up their shopping cart, and then, you know, it expired. You know the deal. I'm sure you've all been there. And it's one of the easiest ways for you to recoup and actually get some new revenue coming through the door.
Yeah, even like, hey, I was about to put on my credit card, but I know that I'm not going to get paid till tomorrow. Could be another one. Or actually, I just need to wait till next week to hide it from my husband or something. Totally. But I guess the other thing with retargeting that we haven't mentioned is it's more than just websites as well. Like Facebook's tracking everything that we're doing on Facebook as well. Mm-hmm. So they're tracking how, you know, like say if you put a video out there, you can then retarget people who have watched over a certain percentage of that video. Yeah. You can upload your mailing list to Facebook and retarget those people. You can retarget people who've engaged with your page on Facebook, or any post or ad.
Instagram as well. I mean,
Instagram now.
Facebook are introducing new stuff all the time, and one of the newest ones is people that have interacted with your Instagram page and posts. So if you know, some of you might have a huge Instagram following, but not that, you know, not that busy a website or Facebook page. So there's another opportunity for you to kind of get those people that are interacting over here on Instagram and get them over there onto your website. I was going to say something else there. Yeah. One thing with the retargeting, if you think about it, obviously you need to, it really only works if you've got a source of traffic coming in the first place. So it's just always something to remember, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, or maybe yeah, show you, or talk about ad types that you could run. You have to make sure that you're kind of feeding the monster, so to speak. So if you think about it, if you've got really zero traffic or very little traffic coming to your website, it's going to be very hard for you to retarget or spend a lot of money on retargeting, because if you just don't have the volume of people coming in, then, you know, and it's a good thing in a way, because you may be able to get huge returns for just a small ad spend. But always just be thinking about how you can feed the front end, so to speak. So, you know, how can you get more people to come to your website? How can you get more people onto your email list? How can you get more people engaging with your organic posts on Facebook? So actually, let's just talk about that just now.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a really good time. And I think also just where you said, like, if you don't have much traffic, which is always a good question that people are like, well, how much traffic do I need to retarget? Or how much traffic is enough traffic? Because, I mean, people's websites could have 100 visitors a month. They could have 100,000 visitors a month. So obviously, the more people that you've got to retarget, that's more people who know who you are. Mm-hmm. And also just remember that Facebook's not going to match everyone who's been on your website within, you know, their Facebook profile as well. You might have 1,000 visitors, but only 600 of them are matched.
Yeah.
So really thinking about, like, how you can increase the volume of that traffic. So how would you do that, Anne?
Well, there we go. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to sort my... it's content marketing. So there's a couple of things. Obviously, there's paid traffic, which is what we specialize in, but also content marketing. And, you know, Miranda's got more of a background kind of in content creation and things like that.
Blog posts aren't dead, people. They're not dead.
Definitely not. So where was I going with that? Yeah, so content marketing. So you need content for people to come, for people to interact with. And I know, you know, organic reach on Facebook is way down, but I certainly know quite a few brands, and these aren't just huge brands, you know, small local brands that absolutely crush it on Facebook with great organic content. So what do I mean by that? So there's kind of, in one of the formulas that we use in Dominate in the agency, especially for video ads, it's the kind of Eddie formula. So you want to do one of these 4 things, and you should consider this every time you're putting any kind of post out on Facebook, whether it's a video post or some other type of post, but particularly with video posts. Well, actually, before I even go into video posts, sorry, I got distracted. I'd like you to put in the comments how many of you are actually using video posts
definitely
in your social media strategy. Because
I had someone ask me, I was like, are you going to do a video ahead of this webinar? And I said, oh yeah, we know we should, but we just didn't get around to it. So do as we say, not as we do.
Yeah,
so video is amazing.
Yeah, I'd really like to see, so who's using
Jenny. Yes, Jenny.
We know Jenny is. Jenny DeLacy has very good training on
video.
Do
check out, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to click through the Jenny's page, but she's got some great video tips on it. If you just want to put your website in there, Jenny, she's the visibility coach.
Yeah.
So Heather's saying infrequently. Someone else is saying sometimes. Vanessa is saying no video posts, very occasionally. Nikki Buckland, well done. Yes. Sonia Matthews, yes, a lot. Joanne, no video yet. And guest 701, hello. I've just started using FB Live, and we'll be using more video through iMovie. Well done. So we've kind of got about 50-50 on that, which is interesting. But I've really noticed how much video is in my Facebook feed these days. Like, it's like I've started watching a lot more video, but it's almost like if there's not video, I don't even care anymore. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. It's
I don't know how other people feel about that. Yeah, definitely check out Jenny's website for some easy video tips. I just know, particularly if you're someone who's a bit scared of going on camera, as I have been, and it's always there. So it's good to have a few ideas. But and Natasha's saying she's doing some Instagram stories, which is awesome, Natasha. But definitely think about how you might be able to repurpose that content over to Facebook. Just even short videos. Like, Anne's going to talk about the video formula now, but videos don't have to be long. Like, even they can be as short as 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah. So the kind of the four things that the four kind of pillars of a good video, and you don't have to have all four, but you have to have at least one of these and possibly two, maybe all four. So educate, demonstrate, inspire, and entertain. So one of those, I'll say them again: educate, demonstrate, inspire, or entertain. And you want to do one of those four things, or preferably a combination of them. And if you think about that in all of your content, all content that you're putting out there, whether it's blog posts or just an image post, I mean, you know, memes are massive, and yes, they can be a really good way of getting organic engagement on your page. You obviously have to be careful of, you know, if it's not relevant to your business, are you going to get heaps of people liking your little cat meme? But yeah, just think about that and you know, the reason it's so important is, you know, when we're kind of talking a little bit more about, you know, the retargeting audiences, you've got to feed the front end with good content, getting people in, getting people to know your brand without overtly trying to sell them anything. And then ultimately, when they either do make it to your website, or when you do decide that you're going to run an ad where you actually want to sell them something, they already kind of know, like, and trust you, or they know who your brand is, and they're more likely to take action. So don't get down on the, or, you know, organic reach is down. I also don't think you should be spending all your time trying to plan out your organic Facebook post. I'd say your money's better well spent on some strategically placed Facebook ads. But yeah, just think about it, you know, it has to be a combination of two. And certainly with getting comments on posts, we have proven that does reduce your ad costs. So if you're running an ad and it's an engaging ad and people are commenting on it or they're sharing on it, you will pay less for your advertising. So, you know, always, Facebook ads don't just work on their own. Retargeting ads don't just work on their own. It's part of the whole ecosystem of your business and your content, which is a huge factor.
Definitely. And I think just on that though, comments do help the cost of your ads. It's not about running ads that say comment below, you know, to get that engagement. And what the goal is to create an ad, whether it's a retargeting ad or another type of ad, that gets that engagement for you. So you're not trying to sort of, I guess, game the system. Yeah, is something to be really mindful of. But with these, you know, educational, inspirational, demonstrative or entertaining ads, people are going to do that naturally. Like, people can't help but tag their friend or share it with someone and that type of thing. So that's really something to think about with anything that you're putting out on Facebook. Yeah,
for sure. And really, just as well, I just want to understand the power of a good blog post as well. So what's the most trafficked blog post on our site is one that I wrote over 2 years ago?
Definitely over 2 years ago, possibly 2.5 to 3 years ago. Yeah, because it was when we, you guys who probably might have been following us for a while, we used to talk a lot about Instagram. That was our focus. So it had to do with sharing photos from your computer to Instagram.
Yeah, which you couldn't do, like, it was really hard to do in, you know, back in the day when Instagram first came out. It was really hard to get stuff from your computer onto your Instagram account.
Yeah.
And so I wrote this blog post, and yes, nearly 3 years ago, and it's the most trafficked page on our website.
Yeah, that takes about half of our monthly traffic to our website.
Yeah, so, you know, and of course, like, you know, when we say Facebook ads here, you know, we're talking about running ads on Instagram as well. It's, you set them up in the same way as you do a Facebook ad from within Facebook Ads Manager or Power Editor. So yeah, so even though, you know, the traffic's coming for Instagram, I'd say at least 50% of that traffic is still qualified. Well, definitely. They all are. They just don't know it yet. They're all qualified to run Facebook ads.
I just wanted to comment on a couple of things that people have been saying. Shirley Herring is saying that it's hard to get video because she sells raw meat, which is an interesting one, Shirley, sorry. But just to, you know, really think about how you can show that creatively. You know, I don't know many butchers that don't have like actual sort of cartoon images of cows and that type of thing. Like, they're talking about the product before it ends up as raw meat. I just saw something about RSPCA yesterday that was all about fluffy animals, but they were talking about like quality meat. So not just thinking about that end product, but the journey that you might take customers on to get their mind thinking about it. It's kind of like demonstrating rather than saying I sell raw meat. So.
Yeah, and I think as well, it obviously depends whether you're selling to as a wholesale or retail, surely, but I certainly know, you know, I buy my beef from a local guy who's all grass fed, and yeah, and I can think of lots of ways that he could be using video to promote the brand. I mean, I don't think he needs to, because you know, he basically has a waiting list of people, and yeah, but you know, showing the journey of you know, the quality of the meat and where it comes from. So
yeah, awesome. And I just wanted to also, we've had someone say that when they share their blogs to Facebook, now I wanted to bring this up before we move on, because it's a super common problem that people have, is that when you share a blog, like a link post on your Facebook page, Facebook gives it no reach, because, and she's saying that she gets a picture of me hiking gets way better engagement. Now let's just have a look at they're two very different types of posts. So the link post is you're actually saying to Facebook, hey, I've got something on my website and I want people to click out and visit it. Facebook doesn't want that to happen. Facebook wants people to stay on Facebook. They're not, you know, their whole thing is like stay on the platform. So they're going to give your link post, if it doesn't have a super engaging introduction, which I have to say I see all the time, as people go, I just wrote a new blog post. Click here for more info. You've got to make it really engaging for people to do that. But I mean, the same thing happens on our Facebook page when we post a blog post, is that, yeah, it doesn't get great reach. So if I know that I've written something that is engaging and I want people, you know, like a few people might have liked or commented on it, I'm going to run that as a traffic ad. You know, maybe spend $5–10 on it, that type of thing, in order to get more people to see it, to get more traffic. You can't expect Facebook to just do the work for you.
Yeah, and I mean, you can boost those posts as well. You know, back in the day I would have been like, don't boost it, but if you just want to get some more eyeballs on it cheaply, you can just boost it, especially if you have a lot of fans. And boosting to your fans can be a really, can serve, you know, a couple of purposes. You get some engagement on you get some social proof on the post, but also it's a good way of an indicator for you to tell you whether that content is interesting or not, because there's a couple of things that could be happening when you're posting your blog post. You could post your blog post and it's actually really not very interesting to anybody, so it doesn't get any engagement. But you could post it and it is interesting, but for whatever reason, at the time that you post it, it just doesn't get any traction. Facebook doesn't show it to people. So there's two things that could be happening there. If you boost it to your fans, and maybe even, you know, just to kind of a general audience that's interested in whatever your page or blog is about, then it's giving it the chance to get seen by people, and then giving them the chance to engage with it. So certainly just boosting, but just being aware that that's the goal of the boost. The goal of the boost is maybe not necessarily to you know, to sell your stuff, but it's to determine whether that content is interesting to the people that are seeing it, and whether, you know, that you should write more like that, things like that. That's what I see as a good way to use boosting.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool.
I was just going to say, kind of like that leads us into what we're going to talk about next, which was the fact that a lot of businesses are spending time and budget, like money, developing, you know, not going for the sell in their ads. So that's where, you know, that's almost like the pre-step in retargeting. So kind of like retargeting works, retargeting your website traffic and all of that, and your video viewers, your email subscribers. I think we haven't mentioned that one yet, but that's definitely another audience that you can put into your custom audiences. But that pre-step of going, you know, what are you trying to do beforehand? Like, what's the step before going for the sell? Is it promoting a blog post? Is it creating a really awesome video where you explain something that you do, like Shirley, you know, something about like where the meat comes from, and then go for the sell with your retargeting?
Yep.
So that's something to really consider with this retargeting strategy, is the first step, and then what you're going to do in the retargeting ad.
Yep, for sure. So what I think I want to show, we haven't shown any examples of retargeting ads. So just in case some of you are sitting there going, I'm sure most of you have seen a retargeting ad, and I'm sure most of you know what they are. But I just want to show you just an example.
It's like when you know, you go halfway through a shopping cart, or you put something into your shopping cart and don't quite finish the sale, and then all of a sudden, all you can see on Facebook are those ads.
Right. This is when we go crazy.
Yeah.
Local. So if I just pull that up, is that going to be? Let me just see. Let me just make sure that we can see the screen and not some crazy tunnel of us.
Cool.
Cool. All righty.
Yeah, that's on.
We got it. Yeah. Okay. So this one is just one that Miranda. So when did you see this?
Oh, just the other day.
She doesn't even have a dog. But she listened to a podcast, and James, who is part owner of this company, was on the podcast, and it was on the Perpetual Traffic podcast, and he was talking about Pet Snacks, his business, and they're based in Australia. And so Miranda went onto the website to have a look about, and then she got retargeted with this ad, and she actually looked at the kangaroo tendons. So I don't know whether James is using Shopify or WooCommerce, but it's probably Shopify.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, he's using Shopify. He will have his Shopify account linked up with his Facebook ad account. And because he's got that linked up, he's able to run what these are called dynamic product ads. So it's dynamically changing to show different people what they have looked at on the website. So as you can imagine, they're highly effective. I'm going to show you an example from a client of ours where it's just night and day the difference that it's made to this client by using dynamic product ads. But it's super easy. There's the shop now button there. It takes you straight back to the page on the website the product on the website that you've just been looking at. Boom, good chance you're going to make a sale off of that.
Definitely.
Cool. So that's the kind of example of a dynamic product ad. This one here, this isn't a dynamic ad, but it's still a retargeting ad. So you can see it's just a single image. And it's basically saying, it's been very direct, come back, shop today and get 10% off your entire order. And it's also giving you a discount code straight in the Facebook ad. And same thing, shop now button. And that is not going to take you back to the specific product that you might have seen, but it will take you back to the shop page. And this is another client, and these have been highly effective, these ads. And again, so it's not that you have to have the DPAs, we call them DPAs, dynamic product ads, set up. If you have Shopify or WooCommerce, I would, strongly recommend that you do. But if you have any other type of website that doesn't allow you to set up DPAs, you can still set up general retargeting ads for people that have been on your website in the past 1 day, 7 days, 14 days, whatever length of time makes sense for you to retarget people. Always just think about the customer experience. So for example, someone who's been on your website 6 months ago is probably not as good a prospect as someone that was on your website last week. Because you think about it, do you remember the websites that you visited 6 months ago? I probably don't remember many of them.
Oh my God, I go to so many websites every day.
Yes, totally. But I certainly remember something that I was on this week or last week. So yeah, always think about that when you're thinking about your retargeting. I also wanted to show just another example, this one here. So this is from Virgin Australia, and I'm seeing that, quite a few ads from them. I've been doing a fair bit of travel this year, and it's specifically calling out where I'm flying from and where I'm flying to. And every single ad I see from Virgin, it gives me, this is what it says, fly Brisbane to Los Angeles, because it knows that's what I do. That's generally the flights that I'm booking. So again, theirs is a little bit more advanced because it's specifically, and I say that will be dynamic. I imagine that's going to be dynamically changing for different people booking flights from different airports. So a little bit more technical, but the same exact concept. It knows what flights I've been looking at on their website, and then it's retargeting me with an ad and specifically calling it out. So that's what we mean by any type of retargeting ads. It's not just DPAs. What it did, would you want to show the Facebook Pixel Helper? Should I show that? Just for anybody that doesn't.
If you have maybe installed your Facebook tracking pixel and you're not sure if it's working properly, or we just thought maybe if you wanted to put your link in the chat box, we'd be happy to have a look at the end just to double check for you. So this is the little bit of code that you've added from your Facebook ad account to your website to be able to track those visitors and to then create custom audiences within the ads manager for, as Angela said, like any amount of time. You can make it for 1 day, 7 days, 30 days, 60 days, 180 days. This is a little bit of pixel information that you're looking for.
It is. So you can see, so if you are using Chrome browser, you can install this for free on the browser. It's called Facebook Pixel Helper. And then it just allows you to see that the pixel's firing correctly on the page. So, and then obviously on an e-commerce, and we can maybe show on an e-commerce store how it fires. We'll maybe do that afterwards if we have time.
Yeah.
And how it will fire different events. I mean, it's a little bit more advanced. You know, not understanding how different events fire. But basically, if this is green, you can see it's showing 2. It's basically saying that 2 events are firing on that page, and this is the pixel that we've got installed. So I wanted to show you this example of the huge difference that running DPA, dynamic product ads, has been for this client. So this is a screenshot. Actually, I think it was April, May, June, not May, June, July, but potato, doesn't really matter. So May 2017, we can see, so there were 3 campaigns running. So just a general carousel ad showing and this is a company that have a WooCommerce store. So just a carousel ad with, we picked out a few, 5 of their most common products. We put them into a carousel ad where we're showing that. Just a page likes campaign because they wanted to build up the likes on their page. And then also just boosting some page posts, because really these were the only options available to us, because they hadn't wanted to run any conversion ads. They didn't want to link up their shopping cart with Facebook for whatever reason. So this is kind of what we were limited to do. So we were trying to get people to click on these ads and come and buy. But as you can see, so this is the amount we spent on the ads over the month. This column here shows the value, so the revenue that was taken as a result of these ads, a big fat 0, and then the number of purchases that were made from these ads. So you can see these ads are just, I mean, obviously we wouldn't expect many sales from a page like campaign or page posts, but these are designed to get a sale in, and nothing is happening. So at the end of, this was actually April, I just got my dates mixed up.
So I guess it's just like what you'd call like a brand awareness type campaign. You know, they're just building up their brand visibility, which is what a lot of people want to do. They just want brand awareness. They want more likes, and that's great. You go to Facebook and you say, I want to get more likes, and you make a page likes ad, and that's how it works. But a lot of people want to make money from Facebook ads.
They do. And why wouldn't you? the perfect platform.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to change this to May. So this was what happened in May. So towards the end of May, we got the link made up from WooCommerce. Actually, Jason and I worked on this to get this set up. We got this link working, and so literally like the last couple of days of May, we set the product catalog sales ad live, which is your DPA, to their warm audience. So for ad spend of $10 at the end of the month, they made $814 from that ad. Now that was just one sale. So, their products are a little bit more expensive than maybe, some of the other products that people may be advertising on Facebook, but that's, exactly why they should be using Facebook dynamic product ads, because there's a little bit more thought. Someone goes to the website, there's a little bit more thought into do they really want to buy this product or not, and then they get reminded back on Facebook, and someone has come back and made a fairly nice purchase on the website. You can see we still had obviously these other ad campaigns running throughout the month before we managed to get this set up. Same thing, we spent a similar amount on those ads, 0 purchases had come through. And then there was this one here is just, so this one was to the warm audience, the retargeting, and this one was to a cold audience. So one of the great things about the dynamic product ads on Facebook is that you can actually show a dynamically changing ad to cold audiences, which is a very useful feature as well. So for that end of that month, that real small ad spend, we managed to get them a 1.7 times return on their ad spend. But then I just want to show you, then when it really came into force the next month, when, we're running ads over the whole course of the month. So again, we can see here, so yes, our ad spend went up. So we about doubled the ad spend from May to June, went up to just over $1,000 Revenue came in at $4,500. That's a 4.4 times return on ad spend. And that was 15 purchases. And you can see that all 15 of those purchases came through from the warm product catalog sales. So this stuff works. And if you, certainly if you have Shopify or WooCommerce, this is something that, you really need to get set up to really maximize your revenue and the success of your business.
Definitely. And we've just had a question come in from Karen saying that she ignores dynamic. She tends to ignore the dynamic product ads. And I mean, that's the thing. Like, not every single person who looks at your ad is going to purchase from you. So, it's about, reminding everyone to get a few of those sales. I mean, that ad got served to like 1,500 people and 15 sales were made. So it's not going to work for every single person that's on your store, but it's making sure that you're actually doing something to remind them about that.
Yeah. Guest 588 said, what is a dynamic product ad? So this is a dynamic product ad. So this is actually a carousel ad where you're seeing different
products. You could have
products.
chosen something that's a little bit more attractive than kangaroo tendons.
Well, dogs love them. I love a bit of kangaroo. Delicious. I'm not sure what guest 558. So basically, Miranda went to the Pet Snacks website. She looked at the kangaroo tendons. She had a look about at the different products. I mean, let's go to Pet Snacks. Is it just petsnacks.com.au? So Miranda has gone to the Pet Snacks website. She's gone to the shop on there. And then she has looked at the kangaroo tendons and she's gone, oh, delicious, I might buy them for my dog. And she might have had a look at a few other products. So what's happening when we're doing this, when you're looking on this website? Now, this is a good point to show the pixel. They're basically, Pet Snacks and Facebook are tracking all of everything that we do, that I'm doing on this website. They're tracking the pages I'm looking at. They're tracking my actions. So if we look at this drop down here, so we can see here, there's various kind of different events firing on this page. And that's basically sending information back to Facebook saying this person looked at this product, this person, added this product to their cart, this person initiated checkout, all these things. And you can imagine that, the deeper I go into this website, so if I look at this product, if I click on add to cart, if then I go to initiate checkout, you can see I'm getting closer and closer and closer to making the sale. And Facebook is able to differentiate between people that just land on your homepage and disappear and people that kind of get further into your website and start taking more actions. That's the beauty of the Facebook pixel, and Facebook is incredibly clever at doing this. And it sounds people get a bit spooked out by it. And as a business owner and a marketer, it's wonderful because it allows you to really, track what people are doing and then make decisions, particularly for your advertising, things that you're wanting to advertise to people on who to show those ads to really, make the most of your money. Because, none of us, I don't think anybody here works for a big brand or anybody has a super successful brand where you've got lots of money to spend on brand advertising. The beauty of these dynamic product ads they're super relevant for particularly small business owners, because for a relatively small ad spend, you can get a really great return on them.
I think that's the really big takeaway that we want you to have, is that it's not just petsnacks.com.au that can do this, it's everyone. It's not like they're, doing anything different. They've got the Facebook tracking pixel installed. If you've got the Facebook tracking pixel installed, that's the first step. But then it's what you do with that information. Yep.
Yeah, totally. It's taking that next step to kind of, take action with your ads and serve the ads to the people that are arriving there.
Yes.
Cool. Should we tell them about the eCom Accelerator then?
I think so.
Cool. So this is, we don't want this whole webinar to be a sales pitch, but we do have something that might help you if you are interested in setting these up properly and getting them done. I wonder if I can go to it here, if it will.
But do keep those questions coming, because we're going to answer. And I can see that Chloe's got one, and I'm really looking forward to answering your question, Chloe.
Ah, yes. That's a good one.
But
I want to make sure that
the video is working.
this stops. So basically what we have developed is this e-commerce accelerator package, because we realized that most small business owners and some other big businesses, there's quite a few big businesses, they're just not using these ads. They're not using them to grow their business. And we want to help. I mean, our goal really is yes, we run Facebook ads for people, but it's not that we run, our job isn't to run Facebook ads. Our job is to grow people's businesses using Facebook ads. And we've always been here for small businesses. That's how we started. Yeah. We know the difference that it can make, particularly for small businesses. So yeah, we developed this package that myself and Jason have trialed it out with a couple of clients, and Miranda's been running it.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we just wanted to bring it to you guys. So there is a sales page, obviously, that you guys can visit later. We just wanted to kind of tell you what it involved. So basically, we'll connect your shopping cart to Facebook. Make sure, because one of the key things, obviously, in getting these ads working is making sure that the setup's right. So maybe if you have an e-com store and you've set it up already, but you don't think that it's set up properly, we go in, we check that, we make sure that the sync's working, we make sure that the pixel's firing, all of that techie back end stuff, we sort that out for you.
And particularly, I guess the reason why this is so specific to e-commerce websites, because I know we're getting a few other questions and happy to answer them, but is because, like, when we say connect your shopping cart and Facebook, is to go, well, all those different events that Ange was talking about earlier. So people who look at a product, those who put their product in the shopping cart and then don't purchase, like, we're able to kind of connect Facebook with your website in such a dynamic way that they're, really getting shown those specific products all the time.
Yeah.
It's not like you're just going, hey, you went to my website, here's a random product to have a look at. It's no, you looked at my website and here's the specific products for you to, look at again.
And come back and buy. So we do all that back end for you. Then you also get some personalized coaching calls. So it's not group calls, it's one-on-one. So we have a 1-hour initial call where we walk you through how to set them up yourself. We show them how you run them. We show you what stats to look at. And then we send you off to have a bash at it yourself. You get email support during that time. So any questions you have, fire them off to us. And usually what we do is we'll record a little video and send that back to you, answering all your questions. And the clients that have already come through this have been just super happy with the results and the support that they've got. And then at the end of the 1 month, we go jump on a call again, and any extra questions you've got, have a look at the results, have a look at how everything's been going. As I said, you get 30-day email support to just fire off whatever you're struggling with. You also get access to our Facebook Ads Masterclass, which is our online Facebook ads training. So if there's other things that you want to learn, not just DPAs, you can delve into that, and we cover all types of Facebook ads and how to set them up and strategy and various things. But one of the key things as well is the VIP Facebook group, because if you can get ask a question in there, and you can get you'll get an answer usually within 24 hours.
Usually within like sometimes Ange is always on Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. So if you're struggling with anything, you can put screenshots in there of your ads. This ad's not working. These are my results. What's the suggestions that we and there's quite a few smart people in that group as well who have been
just
running ads for
like a pub test. Like, what's wrong with my ad, or what would you do differently, or which image should I choose? We had someone today saying, I want to run this type of ad to this product, and I gave her a few different options about what she might want to do, just to make sure that you're not wasting your money still. That's the whole point of it. Yeah, totally.
So yeah, it's a great package, we think, for small business owners. It's currently running a special offer of $14.97. We'll put the link to the sales page so you can have a look at it at the end of this. Any questions on that, obviously stick them in the Q&A, but I think there's certainly a few questions in there about different ads and different things. So
Venus has our little list.
Yep, great. So let's stop sharing and let's go back. So if you dotymedia.com/e-commerce-accelerator.
Yeah, and you know, people are going to ask us about sort of service-based businesses, and also we're going to answer that right now. But also they might be like, oh, well, that's a lot of money, you know. But it's also like, well, what are you doing right now to get people back who have been on your website? You know, you spent, like, most businesses spend a lot of money and marketing effort getting people to the website and just hoping that they're going to buy. So you're gonna, you know, whether it's having a social media manager or spending time creating posts and that type of thing on Facebook and Instagram, or spending time sending out email newsletters or building up your email list, creating postcards, doing physical markets, or selling in stores somewhere. But that's all about getting people to your website. What happens if they don't buy the first time? You know, how long does it take for you to realize that maybe it's time to retarget them as well? And I want to answer people's service-based questions as well. But this is really, really important stuff for e-commerce businesses for sure. Super, super important. Cool. I wasn't going to stop sharing, but I know there's Vanessa's asked about her. So do you want to just start with the first question on there? Sure. We've answered Karen's and also guessed about what a dynamic product has. But Vanessa's saying, my Curious Cards Pixel says that it's firing. I have no idea what that means, and as I haven't looked at the page since I installed it. Cool. So Vanessa, we know that you have Curious Cards, which is Curious Card Company, which is a Shopify website. So what this means, if you've got the Facebook Pixel installed, is and this is for everyone, is that you can go into your ads manager and go to audiences and custom audiences, and that's where you start creating these audiences to then retarget. And we've put that information in our retargeting guide that most of you have signed up for, and I'll put a link in the replay email. But what that means is if we're on your website and we're looking at this particular card, looks like something's not quite. Well, it's because she hasn't linked it up with her product catalog yet, Vanessa. So what this means is that you've got it firing, but you're not actually syncing properly with Shopify just yet. Yeah, so it's working. So and you'll be able to go in and create audiences from different events and things, but it needs to be synced up properly for you to be able to start running DPAs. Yeah, so you can still retarget your website visitors generally, but not dynamically, if that makes sense. Cool. Nice card. I know, they're beautiful cards. I'm like, oh, these are new. I haven't been on here in a while. Nice, Vanessa. And Chloe Angel has asked, would a dynamic product ad work with quarterly workshops rather than consumable products? I'll put us back on. So most likely, Chloe, you don't have a Shopify website. I'm going to guess. Take a guess. You're running WordPress rather than Shopify. And so retargeting will work, but not dynamic retargeting. You can definitely create a custom audience for people who have been specifically on your workshop page and retarget them with ads, or just people who have been on your website generally and retarget them with workshop ads. This is a really great strategy to use. So using, whether it's traffic ads or video ads, and then creating those audiences in between the workshops to then run ads to those warm audiences specifically when it's workshop time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, and that's, you've got a client where it's workshops, and part of her strategy is Facebook Live really has been, that's kind of what's great video, and Facebook Lives really the results for her. Really amazing workshop videos. So she's doing like a national tour around the country, and for each city she's created like a new intro. So it's like, hi Sydney, hi Brisbane, and then it's like the same video afterwards, but then it's able to, it's really unique, and it's talking to the audience specifically. She's also doing like a lead magnet strategy at the same time, so building up that audience of people who knows who she is, and then retargeting those email subscribers using custom audiences as well. Yeah. Cool. So do you want to answer, I'm a service-based business. If my goal was to get a client, would I need a sales funnel? Is that not my website? No, your website is not your sales funnel. Unfortunately not. No. So I guess just kind of for, the reasons we've been talking about. So someone might, well, I guess, how are they going to find your website in the first place? So Google's not just going to offer up your website over
everybody else sees. Particularly, I mean, I don't know how much of a following you have, how much SEO you've got on your website, but Google's obviously pretty smart, same as Facebook, in terms of Google's goal, like Facebook, is to deliver great content to the people that are interested in it. So that's why, a lot of the changes in Google over the past years and past, 3 to 5 years or whatever, have really been narrowing down on getting rid of those like kind of spammy websites and really delivering good value content to people. So the first thing is, yes, how are people going to find your website? So they might be coming from social media, if you're active on social media, or they might be coming, you might have good keyword SEO on your website. So some people may be finding you there. But if it's particularly if you're relatively new, you have to be doing something to get people there, and that could be Google AdWords, depending on what niche you're in. It could be Facebook ads to get traffic to blog posts or whatever. So just having the website is not the sales funnel. So there's that first part, getting people there. Then once people get to your website, what strategies do you have in place to take them through your website or to get them onto your email list? Do you have an opt-in on the sidebar? Do you have a pop-up asking people to get on your email list? Do you have something of value to offer them in exchange for getting their email? So again, that's you having to kind of put the thought into that strategy. Then once somebody either has been on your website or somebody has given you their email list, then what happens? Do you have an email autoresponder series in place? Do you have Facebook ads retargeting people that have been on your website with another useful piece of content or some kind of special offer or special deal? So yeah, a website is definitely not a sales funnel. There's so many, lots of different aspects of the sales funnel, and it's a really great question because I think a lot of people don't think, for some reason, a lot of people, they'll start a business and then they forget that they were ever a customer, and so they forget what the customer journey is like, and they forget to put themselves in the place of a newbie coming to their website or coming into their shop, and they forget what is good etiquette with people. It should be jumping on them, trying to sell them something straight away, or they forget about nurturing the relationship. They forget about the different actions that people have taken, which makes them, different levels of, we call it, warm. If they're a warm prospect, they already know about your business. If they're cold, they've probably never heard of you. If they're hot, it's like they've added stuff to cart. They're just about to press the buy now button, and something's happened and they haven't done it. So it's respecting the different stages that people are at in their relationship with you, and then serving them content and serving them paid traffic and speaking to them in a way that matches those different stages in the journey.
I do just want to say something, that it's not like we're trying to say that you're going to have to write a full sales funnel and you're not going to have, like it's going to take, you're going to, I don't know, have to spend 6 months creating this, because yes, a lot of people might do that. But these days with social media, you've got that ability to start talking to your customers now. So, using video, like we said, using Facebook Lives, and just building that awareness on your Facebook page. If you don't have many likes, if you're just a new business, maybe you got 100, 200 likes, maybe run a like ad. Start to just build people, that warm audience. You're not asking them to come to your website and book a consultation with you straight away. You're asking them to start to know who you are.
Yeah.
And start taking those first few steps with you as well. So if you're looking for a strategy to get going now, video is a strategy, and also just building awareness of your Facebook page.
Yeah, and I think that was a really good point about the like campaign. A lot of people will say, don't pay for likes; it's a complete waste of time. We don't really think that that's true. For a lot of people, it makes really good sense to build up the fans on your page. One of the main reasons being that when you're running Facebook ads, Facebook limits the amount of times that someone can see your ad in their feed. Now, this is for kind of standard. DPAs are a little bit different. They do get shown more, but for just like a standard ad, Facebook limits the amount of time that a cold prospect can see it. But your fans can see your ads more times than just a completely cold prospect. So Facebook will allow your ad to be shown more times to your fans. So if you are using Facebook ads, then yes, it probably does make sense to just have, you know, $5 a day, just a low budget, running a Facebook like campaign, build up the fans on your page, because that's giving you more and more people to show your ads to more times.
And your content.
And your content, for
Definitely.
sure. We didn't talk about lookalike audiences. I mean, we didn't really get into audiences, but I'll just quickly mention that because it's kind of relevant as well. There's also for targeting, so this is cold targeting too, what's called a lookalike audience. You can ask Facebook to create an audience of people that look like, say, your email list. So you can imagine, you know, Facebook knows everything about everybody. And if you have your email list, you can say, hey, this is my email list. Can you find the top 1% of people in Australia that have the similar interests and likes as my email list? So you can do that for your fans as well. So that's another good reason to build up your fans of people that actually genuinely want to be fans of your page. I mean, don't go and buy them from India or China. You know, genuinely target people that you think might be interested in the content that you're offering on your page, and then you can create lookalikes from those as well. So yeah, heaps of ways to target. Good. You can see we love Facebook ads.
Vanessa also asked someone to use retargeting for community theatre courses rather than a product. So that comes back to a similar question about the workshop. So it's about it's about building up those audiences, creating those audiences, and our masterclass teaches you how to do that, to then use them in your ads to retarget. So you're able to, you know, retarget people who have been on the website and then show them the community theatre courses. But I mean, something like that could just go out to people who are living in the local area that you're targeting, because it's hard to kind of, you're probably not going to get enough traffic to retarget. So think about like just putting it out to everyone and seeing what happens. And then obviously as you get closer to the time of maybe you've got a few spots left, you can then retarget the people who've been on that page and not booked with you with an ad saying, hey, 2 spots left to go.
Yeah. I think we'll go back to, well, Anne-Marie was, she said about, putting her website in. So she's ecoshopperth.com.au. You probably wanted, Miranda's just going to check if your pixel's on there. So there, little plug for you, ecoshopperth.com.au. It's the pixel. No, there's no pixel on there.
It's BigCommerce.
It's BigCommerce. Yep. BigCommerce is a challenge for DPAs. I will admit that. But certainly you should have the pixel on there. You can still put the Facebook pixel on there, and you can still be making use of general retargeting from people that are visiting your website. BigCommerce have said that they are introducing DPAs this year, I believe, but I know last time Jason and I had a client and we moved them over to Shopify actually, and the reason we moved them to Shopify was so that we could run DPAs, and they're crushing it for this client now. So yeah, but you don't let that, doesn't mean you have to change from BigCommerce, but certainly you can get the pixel on there. If you just Google, BigCommerce Facebook pixel, you'll find a tutorial. You should find a tutorial on how to do that. Let's go back to Shirley's, because it's a good question, and it's a relevant one. So what Shirley's having problems with? So Shirley said she sells the raw meat. So she said she has WooCommerce linked. She's got the pixel installed, winning, great. But every time she adds a new product, it bans the product because it's saying that Facebook doesn't allow the sale of live animals. And obviously selling animal product and meat needs to include the word a type of animal. Yes, it's a pain, Shirley. So Facebook has super strict guidelines around what you can advertise. It's particularly strict in certain areas, weight loss and diet. You can imagine they're very strict on that and what you can say. Anything to do with sex is, almost a complete no-no. You really have to reword stuff to make it about love. And yes, that's a hot topic. There's been a few clients that we've had issues with that of late. And so Shirley's obviously having the problem with the sale of live animals. No, there's no easy way around that. I get really for you, it's learning what they will. It's learning what they will allow and what they won't, and always kind of, I guess, coming from that place of vanilla-ness. So making your stuff almost as vanilla as possible. And it might be that the DPAs for that reason won't work as well for you, because obviously on your website you can say what you want, but if Facebook's pulling that data in to the DPAs, then that's potentially where your issue is. What you can do with the DPAs is you can set up like a carousel, and you can manually choose what fields Facebook pulls into that DPA. So that might be something you might want to explore. But yeah, there's no way to get like your account whitelisted. Really, it's you kind of figuring out where the cutoff is. I have a client, and literally every single ad I set live got disapproved straight away. And even ads, like if I had an ad running and I changed something, say I changed the title of the ad, just the name of the ad in Ads Manager, it would disapprove it again. It was just ridiculous. But after a period of maybe like this happening for 3 or 4 weeks, I got to know, even just like little specific words that I was using, even though, I'm obviously fairly down with the policies and what we can and can't say. But I was figuring there was maybe certain things that were triggering because usually it's just by a bot. It's usually like, automated, that the ad gets disapproved, and then it gets looked at by a human, and then they review it, and then you appeal it. But it's a painful process and it takes time. But now that account's fine, because I learned what I could and couldn't, where I could, what limits I could go to, and now it's fine. Things rarely get disapproved in that account. So it's probably just a part of that process, surely. And it could be just that everything, if it's pulling it from the website, it's just, there's not much you can do about it. It can be really frustrating if you get on the wrong side. And what we tend to find as well is the more you get ads disapproved, the more vigilant Facebook becomes of your account, and then the longer things tend to get approved. So I guess that's a really good word of warning for people, is make sure that you are aware of Facebook's policies for advertising things, particularly if whatever you're selling could potentially be controversial, or
even if it's not, I've been running some ads for a naturopath, and I'd put in weight loss without even thinking about it, and all of a sudden, completely banned. So even if I'm selling a good product, like you probably are, Shirley, this raw organic meat, it's just to be aware of what's going on, and keeping track of what it is that's working, what's not, and like Ange said, and just being more aware of what you're doing. Yep, cool. Is that a link? Yep. So I think that's just finishing on the last question. I don't know if there's any more. If you do, we've managed to run this for about an hour, which is great. The last question that we've got from a guest is, where do you put the pixel? So in the email out, I'll put the link, and I can pop it in the chat box, but we've got a whole blog post of how you get the pixel from Facebook Ads Manager and then insert it into the back end of your website. So if you're using WordPress, there's all sorts of plugins you can use, and then you just literally just copy and paste that pixel into your website, and then it starts sending data back to Facebook. Yeah, cool. And we'll give you the link. Nikki said, my brain. Hi. That's a really great. Thanks, Nikki. I'm really glad that we take that as a compliment. Yeah. I don't think mine is set up properly, as I have 2 pages. So do you mean 2 Facebook pages or 2 website? I'll just explain. So basically, you get 1 pixel. So if you will, each ad account has 1 pixel. So that pixel goes on, say you had 5 websites, you would put that pixel on the same pixel on every website. And then with the audiences that you create in Facebook, that's how you would differentiate out between the different websites. 2 Facebook pages. Yeah, the pixel's not related to the Facebook page per se. The pixel is for you to track people off of Facebook on your external websites. The pages, you can, if you're admin on both pages, you'll be able to run ads from both pages within your ads manager, and you'll be able to create lookalikes of both of those pages in your audiences. Yeah, so really, I'm an admin on a lot of ad accounts, and when I go in to set up an audience I'm an admin on a lot of pages. If I go in to set up an audience of fans, say, in one ad account, I get the option of choosing an audience of any of the pages that I'm admin on. So that's also, it's something to just always be careful for. If you are an admin on multiple pages, make sure you're choosing the right page to create your audiences when you're in a different ad account, and name them accordingly. Definitely. Great. So
another question.
Shirley's just saying thanks for the advice, and so hopefully that really helps you today. So, I mean, you will receive an email with the replay and also a link to the e-commerce accelerator if you want to check that out, and anything else that we've mentioned today. I think just that blog post about installing the Facebook tracking pixel. But yeah, we're really happy that you joined us live, and thanks so much.
Thanks everybody. Have a good day. See ya.